I never thought a glowing screen at 2 a.m. could shatter my entire world. The soft hum of the laptop, left open, pulled me from a restless sleep. My wife, Sarah, was deep in slumber beside me, oblivious. Curiosity, a serpent in the garden, compelled me to glance. A messaging app, a name I didn't recognize, and a message that made my blood run cold. "Can't wait for our weekend in Miami, baby. He'll never know." My breath hitched. The air in our Los Angeles bedroom turned to ice. My vision blurred, then sharpened, focusing on the damning words, each pixel a shard of glass. In that moment, the man I was died, replaced by something far darker. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The next morning, Sarah was a vision of innocence, humming as she made coffee. Her laughter, once music, now grated on my nerves, a cruel mockery. I watched her, a stranger in my home, and felt a humiliation so profound it threatened to consume me. The man in the message mark was a colleague she'd mentioned once or twice, always dismissively. Now his name echoed in my mind like a death knell. The betrayal wasn't just a stab. It was a slow, agonizing twist. Over the following weeks, Sarah's behavior shifted subtly, then dramatically.
"Oh, late nights at work."
Vague excuses, a new phone she guarded like a hawk. Her eyes, once full of warmth for me, now held a cold, calculating glint. She became manipulative, twisting conversations, making me feel like I was losing my mind. "You're being paranoid, David," she'd say, her voice dripping with feigned concern. "Maybe you're just stressed." But each word was a gaslight designed to dim my perception of reality. I started my quiet investigation. I found receipts for expensive dinners tucked away in her purse, a hotel booking confirmation for a boutique hotel in South Beach, Miami, under her maiden name. Then the phone calls. Hushed, secretive conversations she'd take in the other room, her voice dropping to a whisper when I approached. One evening I found her old phone, forgotten in a drawer. It was unlocked. The messages between her and Mark were a sickening chronicle, detailing their trysts, their plans, their shared contempt for me. Mark, a smug, arrogant man. From her office, gloated about their escapades, calling me the clueless husband. My heart didn't just break. It shattered into a million irreparable pieces. The pain was a physical entity, a crushing weight on my chest. I spent nights staring at the ceiling of our Hollywood Hills home, the city lights twinkling. I cried until I was hollow, until there was nothing left but a cold, hard resolve. They thought they were untouchable, basking in their illicit joy while I withered. But they had underestimated me. They had mistaken my loyalty for weakness, my love for blindness. I would not just survive, would dismantle their world piece by agonizing piece. My transformation was complete. I became a ghost in my own life, moving through the motions. A silent observer, started gathering proof, not just for my own sanity, but for the legal and social traps I was meticulously constructing. I installed discreet cameras in our home, capturing Sarah's late-night calls, her hurried departures, her dismissive attitude towards me. I hired a private investigator, a former LAPD detective named Miller, who documented their every move, their lunches in downtown LA, their clandestine meetings, in a parking garage near the Staples Center, their weekend getaways to Santa Barbara. Each photo, each time-stamped report, was a nail in their coffin. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp, nonsense woman named Ms. Chen, whose office overlooked the bustling streets of Century City. I laid out my evidence, a thick file. She listened, her expression grim, then nodded. "This is airtight, Mr. Thorne. We can ensure she leaves with nothing but the clothes on her back." But I wanted more. I wanted her reputation, her social standing, her very sense of self, to crumble. The plan unfolded with surgical precision. First, the legal offensive. Ms. Chen filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences in presenting the initial evidence. Sarah was blindsided, her arrogant facade cracking for the first time. Then came the social detonation. I anonymously sent copies of the most damning evidence, the Miami hotel booking, the explicit messages, the photos from the private investigator to her company's HR department, to her closest friends, and to the parents of the children she taught at a prestigious private school in Beverly Hills. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Sarah was suspended from her job, pending an internal investigation. Her friends disgusted, cut ties. The school, fearing a scandal, quietly terminated her contract. Her carefully constructed world imploded. Mark, the smug affair partner, was also fired from their company, his career in tatters. He tried to deny everything, but the evidence was irrefutable. He was a coward, just as I had suspected. The final act played out in a sterile Los Angeles courtroom. Sarah, pale and gaunt, sat across from me, her eyes hollow. The judge, a stern woman, listened impassively as Miss Chen presented the full scope of Sarah's deceit. The cameras, the messages, the financial drain of her affair, it was all laid bare. Sarah tried to plead, to cry, to feign remorse, but it was too late. The judge granted the divorce, awarding me full ownership of our assets, citing Sarah's egregious conduct. She left the courtroom with nothing, her reputation in tatters, her future a bleak, empty expanse. I watched her walk away, a solitary figure swallowed by the courthouse steps. There was no triumph, no joy, only a profound, chilling emptiness. The revenge was complete, but it had left a scar deeper than any betrayal. The silence in my home was deafening now, a constant reminder of what was lost and what I had become. She never understood the true cost of her choices, until the world she built crumbled around her, leaving only echoes,